My good people, my good people. What's up, world? I'd like to welcome y'all back to the show that's out with your boy Rob Scott. This is Rob's Two Cents, baby. What's going on, everybody? Hope you guys have been good. Hope you had a great and productive week since the last time we talked. Is always about progress. And I hope you enjoyed this exciting weekend of football. Boy, oh boy. You see the name of the video. Statements were made this weekend, and that's at the college level and that's at the professional level. We got a lot to get into. Without further ado, I'd like to welcome y'all back to the hottest conversation in the nation. This is Rob's Two Cents. And y'all, before we can go any further as a Chicago person, as a Chicago fan, we have to discuss the disappointment that has been the Chicago Bears. We have to talk about the clown show that has been with the Chicago Bears. I'm telling you guys right now, it's basically like you see in the title, it's BNB, Bad News Bears. Now let's talk about it. We saw this past Sunday the Chicago Bears win against the Kansas City Chiefs. The Kansas City Chiefs tore another asshole in us, pause on that, and destroyed us 41 to 10. Now, I don't know if you guys follow me or not, but this past weekend on Saturday, I was on my boy Greg's show called The Red Kingdom. Shout out to my boy Greg. It's a show dedicated to the Kansas City Chiefs. And I was invited because the Bears had the unfortunate news of having to play the Kansas City Chiefs, the reigning defending Super Bowl champions at a time right now where they need confidence in their offense. We know that they lost game one against Detroit. They haven't been looking the same, even though they've been able to get back to their winning ways. And I specifically said on the Red Kingdom that if you need to gain any type of confidence, then the Chicago Bears is the team that you want to play. I'm telling you right now, if your offense is struggling, if you're having issues with looking yourself in the mirror and trying to figure out who you are as a team, and you see that you got the Chicago Bears on your schedule, you buck up and you smile because you know whatever we was getting wrong, this is our time to have live practice on the field because that's what the Bears look like right now. They look like a glorified practice team. We're talking about a team, as I mentioned in my last episode, who is now on a 13-game winning streak and haven't won a game since October of last year against the New England Patriots. Imagine being the Patriots, and that's the last team that you got beat by the Chicago Bears. You should just look yourself in the mirror right now and just hate yourself. I'm telling you, the Chicago Bears are horrific. It's a total clown show. Now, Justin Fields made some comments, and he talked about how the coaching has affected. Matter of fact, I'm gonna let you guys take a look for yourself. Oh, that boy Rob, he turning up now. I'm gonna let you take a look at for yourself and see what Justin Fields said. Let's tune in.
Felt like I was kind of robotic and not just not playing like myself. So my goal this week is just to say F it and just go out there and play football how I know how to play football. And that includes thinking less and just going out there and playing off of instincts rather than just of so much, so to say, info in my head, data in my head, and literally just going out there playing football.
When you say thinking less, what do you think was causing you to think so much, maybe think too much?
Could be coaching, I think, but at the end of the day, it makes it. They're doing their job when they're giving me what to look at and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, I can't be thinking about that when the game comes. I prepare myself throughout the week, and then when the game comes, it's it's time to play free at that point. So just thinking less and playing more.
Now you just heard it from Justin Fields yourself. What he is saying is the coaching that he's hearing in his ears. He's hearing too many people calling calls, trying to read the defenses for him instead of letting him play the game the way he knows how to play. What Justin Fields is saying, simply put, is too many damn cooks in the kitchen and don't nobody know how to damn cook. And that's the problem with the Chicago Bears. Now, we've seen a fiasco with defensive coordinator Alan Williams. He has resigned. A lot of critics and reports and analysts are saying that he was forced to resign. We don't know the reason behind it right now. The Bears organization is saying that it's health issues and family related. But he resigned. He up and leaves. Had a whole rumor going out here that not only did he get raided, but Hallis Hall got raided by the FBI. Now, thank you to my brother Jerry Rouse, who I was also on his show this past Sunday, the Rewind Sports 60, as we did the Bears post-game wrap-up. He knows the lawyer that's representing Alan Williams. And he said that was completely false. Those were rumors. The Bears organization came out and said Hallis Hall did not get raided. Those rumors were false. These were lies. But what we do know is that he resigned, and now Coach Eberflus is calling defensive plays, and it's not good. Let's talk about the progression of Justin Fields. So far, in Justin Fields' 2 year and 3 game career, he's only thrown for about 4,600 yards. Patrick Mahomes threw for 5,200 yards last year in one damn season. In 2 years and 3 games, you've only thrown for 4,600 yards? Are you kidding me? Now, we could blame that on coach. We could blame that on offensive line. He did get sacked 55 times last year. He is currently sitting at about 15 sacks this year. I mean, I told you guys last year, the Chicago Bears offensive line couldn't stop a cold. If they was medicine, they couldn't stop a cold. Okay? Tylenol. They only give you 24 hours of protection, and after that, you're on your own. And the Bears suck. It simply put, the Bears suck. And then, not to mention, Soldier Field gets robbed for over $100,000 worth of lawn equipment. Are you kidding me? Which, ironically and conveniently, this news comes out right after Alan Williams resigned. Could it be a distraction? I don't know. I just know it's a complete clown show with the Chicago Bears. We need to get it together. You go get a DJ Moore. You go get a playmaker who you don't even allow to make plays for you. We see the regression, not progression, in Justin Fields. The offensive line has sucked the entire time since Nagy up until now. And the defense, we supposed to be the monsters of the midway? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? If I seen the Bears defense standing on the corner, I'm walking past all of them. I'm walking through the middle of the circle. That's how soft they are. And I'm looking you in your eyes as I'm walking by. Soft. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't mean to be so animated, but being a Chicago Bears fan, it's very frustrating. Because every year, even though we were on, technically at the time, a 10-game losing streak going into the new season, everybody was hyped for the Bears. Everybody was hyped for the Bears. And now we see that we were all hyped for nothing. We were hyped for nothing. And before we just point fingers at Justin Fields, I'm pointing fingers at the whole damn organization. I'm pointing at the McCaskills. I'm pointing at Eberflus. I'm pointing at Ryan Post. I'm pointing at anybody who has something to do with this damn roster we see in front of us today. Because the Chicago Bears got to be the laughing stock of the league. Last in offense, last in defense. As I mentioned before, the only damn thing we got good to look forward to with the Chicago Bears is the damn field goal kicker. Are you kidding me? He the best player on the damn team. Get it together, Chicago. It's a damn shame. But I'm going to get off you a little bit, Chicago. Because we saw you got another team that's just as bad as you. In the Denver Broncos. We saw the Denver Broncos get beat by 50 points. 50 points. That is a damn shame. You should be embarrassed. You should not want to call yourself a football team. And everybody want to point fingers at Russell Wilson. That ain't a Russell Wilson point problem getting beat by 50 points. That's everybody damn problem. Sean Payton came in this, and I know he damn well wish he would stay retired. He said, "What have I walked into? What kind of nonsense have I walked into?" I'm telling you guys right now, the Dolphins sent the message to the NFL, not just to the Denver Broncos, but to the whole damn NFL to let you know, in the words of my boy Coach Prime, we ain't no longer coming. We here. And right now, the Dolphins has to have the scariest offense in the league. Let me point you guys out to something real quick. Take a look at the screen. Take a look at the screen for me, okay? Right here, this graphic that I'm showing you are the fastest speeds recorded by ball carriers in the NFL this season. Do you guys notice something with that top six? Don't worry, I'll wait. They're all Miami Dolphin players. Tyreek Hill is up here 3 times. Devon Achane is up here twice. And then you got Raheem Mostert. Like, listen, look at this. Tyreek Hill ran a 15-yard catch in week 3 for 22. I mean, he ran a 15-yard touchdown, and he did it in 22.07 miles per hour. Do you know how ridiculously fast that is? Do you know how ridiculously fast that is for a human being to get speed up to 22 miles per hour? They don't call the man cheetah for nothing. It's crazy. That offense did whatever they wanted to on the Denver Broncos. Let me read you some stats, y'all, because it's hard for me to explain it. Okay, Russell Wilson had a pretty okay game. He's at 306 yards for the day, 1 touchdown, throw an interception. You know Russell Wilson is good to throw at least 1 interception in the game. His 2 usual suspects on his receiver corps showed up. Cortland Sutton had 8 receptions for 91 yards. Jerry Jeudy had 5 receptions for 81 yards. If I just told you those stats alone, you would say, Rob, the Denver Broncos had a pretty decent game. But then I got to read you Miami stats. Let me tell you what Miami did. Tua had a hell of Tua starting to get his Alabama swag back. Tua starting to feel like he's back in Bama. The boy went 23 and 26 on a day for 309 yards, 4 touchdowns, perfect game, 0 interceptions. Tua did his damn thing. And then Mike White came in right behind him because you know they're going to take Tua out. Take him out of the 4th quarter. By this time, it's over with. I got to mention that too. Tua did this in 3 quarters. Tua did this in 3 quarters. Mike White said, "Don't worry, I can give you 1 more interception." And then the running backs gave you 5 touchdowns themselves in Raheem and Devon. Crazy work. In the words of my boy Sadie McCoy, Tyreek Hill, 9 receptions for 157 yards and 1 touchdown. And I got to tell you right now, Tyreek Hill, let me look in the camera, brother. I'm sorry. On previous shows with my ASAP Sports family, I've said that you're not a top 10 receiver, that you're not a route runner. I'm sorry, Tyreek. Regardless if you're a route runner or not, you're one of the best receivers I've seen in the NFL. Just quick, lightning, playmaker, makes things happen, champion, will be a future Hall of Famer one day. And right now, and let's be honest, Tyreek Hill is the best damn receiver in football right now. Tyreek Hill is putting the fear of God in defender's heart right now. That boy fast, and fast don't lie. And did I mention that they did all this without Jayden Waddle, who's supposed to be 1B or 1A, whichever way you want to put it. Him and Tyreek, 1A, 1B, however you want to put it. They did this without Jayden Waddle. And Jayden Waddle wasn't on that list that I showed you earlier. And he's fast his damn self. Do you understand what I'm saying right now? Regardless of how their defense looking, that defense okay. That defense okay. They was able to get to Russell Wilson a little bit. They gave him a little pressure. But that was not a show on the defense. That was pure offensive firepower. That was Tua going in there flexing muscles. That was Tyreek Hill going there and running all over people, letting them know you can't catch a damn cheetah. What the Miami Dolphins did to the Denver Broncos was flat out murder on TV. And somebody need to go arrest that whole damn roster. And I know the defense is going to be okay. I mean, Vic Fangio's there. We know about Vic Fangio and how he does with defense. But right now, head coach Mike McDaniels, he got this team playing. And the offensive line said that they take pride in protecting Tua. They take pride in protecting Tua. They don't want another fiasco like last year. Tua's gotten better every year. I got to give it up to Tua. Every year he's progressed. And I am so proud I appreciate you, my boy Jay. Hey, y'all, make sure y'all comment, man. This is an interactive show. You let me know what your questions is, man. I'll pop them up on there, man. Y'all talk to your boy Rob as we continue this show. And I'm telling y'all right now, Miami is going crazy. My boy Mike Hughes, what's going on, baby? Appreciate the love, y'all. Appreciate the support. Right now, I think Miami is the scariest team in the NFL. They're the best team in the NFL. The San Francisco 49ers are not that far behind just because of their defensive stand. You know, Nick Bosa and all them boys, Fred Warren, they got some monsters over there at San Fran. And Brock Purdy, I think he's been perfect. As I mentioned, Brock Purdy is yet to be defeated as an NFL professional quarterback. He hasn't lost a game. The season was cut short last year due to injury. He came back right according to schedule, doing this thing. That boy Brock Purdy has been playing on the road. Debo standing up. They're gonna get Brandon Ayuk back. We know about C-Mac. You know where right now, if you had to ask me today, Rob, who's gonna be the Super Bowl teams that's competing? I'm gonna say San Fran versus Miami right now. They're a little bit above everybody else. I think the Eagles are going to get themselves warmed up and they're going to get right back into the thick of things. They need to figure out some things on that offense. Defense made some great plays last night on Monday Night Football, but the Eagles still got some things to address. Got to find a way to use AJ Brown more. Good thing he got off last night. I think he had his first game over 100 yards this season so far in this very short 3-game season. But I'm just telling you guys, man, right now Miami is scary. Let's talk about some bad news for other teams, man. Cardinals, Cowboys lose to the Cardinals. Trayvon Diggs tears his ACL in practice. Gone for the season. After everybody gave the Cowboys this rave about how their defense was, man, you lose your top rated cornerback. Especially after you just brought in Stephon Gilmore, who's not the same Stephon Gilmore in the past, especially on those championship Patriot team, but can still be a threat, especially playing with Trayvon Diggs on the other side, who last year led the league in interception, and this year was on a pace to do it again. That Dallas Cowboy defense was looking scary. I feel bad for them. They lose 16-28 against the Cardinals, and then the Chargers finally get some good news, able to beat the Minnesota Vikings in the battle of the winless. They both came into their respective games 0-2. Chargers now 1-2 on the year. Minnesota now 0-3. But in the process of them winning that game, they lose their star wide receiver and Mike Williams, who also tears his ACL in the game. Mike Williams been injury prone. The Chargers have just been injury prone, man. Every time we look up, defense was hurt, whether it was in them getting Khalil Mack and Joey Bosa. They haven't had their full roster. Their two big receivers, and Keenan Allen and Mike Williams, was down last year. Now Mike Williams goes down again this year after he had a hell of a game. Had 7 receptions for 121 yards, 1 tutty. And Keenan Allen just dominated that game with 18 receptions for 215 yards. Didn't score a touchdown, but definitely picked up all the yards, man. I'm telling you. The Chargers is one of those teams that just disappoint you because you expect so much from them. I remember when the AFC West had this allure to them because the Raiders, they get Devontae Adams, and Russell Wilson goes to Denver, and we know about what Kansas City can do, and then the Chargers, their defense ramps up. Justin Herbert is there, Keenan Allen, Mike Williams. You bring in Khalil Mack to add with a Joey Bosa, and you thinking that I actually predicted the Chargers to win that division, and injuries, had just hurt them. Let me answer a question here from my boy Jay. Says, besides Miami and the 49ers, who would I consider a team to watch out for? If you're asking for a sleeper team, I would say watch out for Detroit. Detroit right now, they've been playing some tough games. Jameer Gibbs, he's a dog. And if you let that boy get off, man, I think they can kill you with that run game. Golf has been playing pretty good. You never know what you're gonna get with Jared Goff. But right now, Detroit has been playing some really good football. They definitely look like they're gonna run away probably with the North. But then again, Green Bay has been looking good too. And I'm surprised at the development of Jordan Love and to see what Jordan Love has been able to do with this Packers offense, especially Aaron Rodgers leaving this year, going to the New York Jets. and he got the full confidence of his team. These guys were ready to play for Jordan Love. On numerous interviews, they said Jordan Love was their guy, and I'm happy to see that the young fella has been doing pretty good. You know your usual suspect. You always got to watch out for the Eagles. You're gonna have to watch out for the Cowboys, even though nobody trusts Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott. It's just you know sooner or later he gonna do something to throw away the game. But that defense that the Cowboys have, man, even though they lose Trayvon Diggs, they still got that boy Michael Parsons. They still got D-Law. They still got Stephon Gilmore. That's still not a defense to take lightly. So those are my teams to watch out for. I would say the Ravens, but right now they're also dealing with some injury issues. So if they can get Odell Beckham Jr. back, give Lamar Jackson somebody to throw to, you can never count out the Baltimore Ravens. Let's keep the show going, though, man. And our thoughts and prayers are with Trayvon Diggs and Mike Williams. I hope you guys have a quick recovery from your ACL. I know you're gone for the season. Make sure you rehab. Make sure you take care of yourself. Get your rest, man. And hopefully we can see you guys back on the field next year. I'm going to talk a little basketball right now. Even though I know the NBA season is about 4 weeks away, I heard some interesting comments. Tony Parker has a show called Squeak, spelled Skweek. Shout out to Tony Parker, Hall of Famer. And he had a panel with Paul Gasol, and he had Dirk Nowitzki was on that panel, and Dwayne Wade was on that panel. And Dwayne Wade said some interesting comments that had me thinking. I want to hear what you guys think. Take a look at this.
I remember cutting my TV off as soon as when Kobe ran and grabbed that ball. I was like, LeBron.
All right, bro. Especially losing against them before. CV,
I ain't lying to you. I'm not lying to you. I cut the TV off when I watched that shit, and I watched Kobe run and grab the ball and celebrate. I was like, so what you gonna do? That was our summer free agency. They were dominating. Like, Kobe was winning all these rings. I was like, wait, hold on. Now he got 5 and we got 1? Like, no.
Funny, right? So I watched that and I think to myself, I know that had to be tough for a competitor like Dwayne Wade to admit that. But it also got me thinking it really dispels a lot of rumors that were going on. You remember when the Big Three formed in Miami, a lot of people primarily said it was to beat Boston. I mean, everybody thought Boston was the threat to come out of the East, even though the Big Three in Boston with Ray Allen and KG and Paul Pierce, they were in the latter part of their run. They still had made it to the NBA Finals in 2 out of the 3 years that they were together in Boston. And the only reason I think they missed the previous years because KG got injured. Honestly, I don't think the Orlando Magic would have beat Boston Celtics had KG been there healthy, and the Big Three in Boston would have been able to go on another run. That's just my personal opinion. But I will say this: it dispels that rumor that Boston was the only reason that Miami formed. You heard it straight from Dwayne Wade's mouth. This just tells you guys how special Kobe was, because Kobe was special. I mean, he dominated a lot of. I hate this thing that's going around and saying that Kobe didn't run the 2000s. Honestly, I understand that the Spurs won. I think they won 4 rings during that. Oh no, 2 rings during that time. They won in 03, and then I believe they won in 07. So I get that. I get that the Spurs were dominating at that time. But also, we gotta also look at what Kobe was able to do with the Los Angeles Lakers. I remember he had already had a 3-peat going into the 2000s. He ran 2000, 2001, and 2002. Granted, he had Shaq. I understand that at that time, Shaq was the most dominant big man we've ever seen. You gotta just call it ace and ace. But after the whole debacle of Shaq leaving LA, Kobe took over, and he took that sorry ass team as far as he could go with the battles he had against Phoenix, scoring 81 against Toronto, just completely lighting up the stat sheet with just buckets after buckets after bucket. I mean, Kobe was on a damn tear. And now we look, Dwayne Wade letting you know, once he got Paul Gasol, we knew, oh shit, that's going to be a hard team to beat. That's going to be a very hard team to beat. Kobe and Paul Gasol playing on top of that game, especially Dwayne Wade had just played with Kobe in the Olympics. So him and LeBron got to see that up close, and they realized that, man, let me tell you something. Oh, thank you, Jay. I appreciate that. Yeah, 03, 05, and 07. So they won 3 rings during that time. So just to see that, Dwayne Wade giving Kobe his props, man. It was love. I appreciate the fact that he mentions that, and dispel this rumor. To me, like I said, I got Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. However you want to put those 3 in order, it's up to you. Clearly, Michael Jordan better be your number 1 if you call yourself a basketball fan. But however you want to put Kobe and LeBron, it's clearly viewer's choice. It's cool. It's clearly about preference. But to not mention Kobe in this top 3, y'all insane. Kobe put the fear of God in people. And then we know, of course, they tried to experiment, bringing Dwight Howard and Steve Nash over there. It didn't work. And then Kobe tears his Achilles, and then that's the end of the legend we know as the Black Mamba. But Kobe put the fear of God in people, and I'm just glad D-Wade gave him his credit out here, man. And then we got to talk about what happened Saturday, Lord Jesus. Dion. Oh, I'm sorry. No disrespect. Coach Prime took his Colorado Buffs into Oregon for a Saturday afternoon game, and Oregon proceeded to make a statement against the Buffs, beating Colorado 42-6. I'm telling y'all, man, I was so disappointed in what happened, but I knew it was coming. Anybody who watches college football knew that it was going to be damn near impossible for the Colorado Buffs to beat this Oregon team. Before we even get into skill, before we even get into talent, as the old adage goes, you cannot teach size. And if you look at that Oregon team and you look at the size of the Colorado Buffs players, Oregon just looked like men playing amongst boys out there. The offensive line kept Bo Nix off the grass all day. The defensive line made life a living hell for Shedeur. Shedeur wasn't able to be his Shedeur self. He didn't have a bad game, but he didn't have a good game. Shedeur was 23 of 33, 159 yards on the day for 1 touchdown. Just, the run game couldn't do anything. And then you look on the other side of the ball, and Oregon had their way. Marquise Irvin had 10 carries for 89 yards. Bo Nix, 28 of 33 on the day, 276 yards, 3 touchdowns, only 1 interception. And then Troy Franklin, who just had a hell of a game that day, was all reliable for Bo Nix all day. 8 receptions for 126 yards for 2 touchdowns. I mean, Colorado got jumped on from the moment the ball got kicked and the whistle blew for the game to begin. It was horrible. I want to show you guys something, and I think this was the reason that they were so pumped up. I want to give Coach Dan Lanning some props for not egging on Colorado and giving them bulletin board material, for making it personal, as Coach Prime would call it. But before that game started and the cameras got the witness, this is what his team heard.
Rooted in substance, not flash. Rooted in substance. Today, we talk with our pads. You talk with your helmet, right? Every moment. The Cinderella story is over, man. Right? They're fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. There's a difference, right? There's a difference, right? This game ain't gonna be played in Hollywood, it's gonna be played on the grass, right? It's gonna be played on the grass. Let's go.
I can't lie. If I'm an Oregon player, I'm ready to go knock somebody the hell out. I'm not gonna lie to you. I jumped up out my seat and I was like, "Let's go to war!" I mean, that coach got him pumped up. He said, they playing for clicks. We playing for wins." And don't get it wrong, Coach Dan Lanning, Coach Prime got major respect for each other. You can tell before the game, after the game, the way they shook hands. Now Keyshawn Johnson did say on Undisputed that the NCAA as a whole is getting tired of all the attention that Coach Prime is getting with the Colorado Buffs. And, it's rumored that these coaches, came together to come up with a game plan to make sure that not only Oregon beat the Colorado Buffs, that they dominated the Colorado Buffs. I heard that TCU coaching had some hands with that. As we know, Colorado was able to spoil TCU's game opener. These guys are coming fresh off being in the NCAA championship game, and they come and get beat by a team that only won one game last year. So they were seeded, and I heard Nebraska had a little bit to do with giving Oregon the tea on how to beat Coach Prime, man. But at the end of the day, Bo Nix had a hell of a game, and it's funny because Bo Nix is a fifth-year senior. I know you like, how the hell is he still playing in college? But due to COVID, he was able to get a year back in his eligibility. So now he's a fifth-year senior. I'm not mad at him. I wouldn't be so quick to lead the NCAA as well, probably getting his NIL deal money, especially being in Oregon. We know how fresh Oregon is. It's still a pair of Oregon Duck Jordans that I want. It's so damn expensive. But hopefully as I gain some momentum, I'll be able to buy those one day, you know what I'm saying, and not sweat. But Oregon, they got the wear, they got the money. A lot of these players want to go play for a team like Oregon. And now it sucks because now Shador and the Colorado Buffs have to now go play Caleb Williams and the USC Trojans. And we know that team is tough. I think ranked currently right now 5th or 4th in the college rankings. Caleb Williams, Heisman candidate, right behind Michael Penix Jr., who plays for the Washington Huskies, however you want to put them. But right now, they're the best 2 college quarterbacks in college football today. And that's who you got to go play against. A lot of people are predicting a shootout. A shootout. And I want to give myself a shout out, though, because I mentioned Oregon's defense and people laughed at me. Oregon's defense. No. I told you, against this Colorado team, that defense was going to show up and show up. They did. I believe they sacked Shador like 7 times. Shador, they got to get that offensive line better. But, now you got to go play USC. And these are tough 2 games. You don't have your best player in Travis Hunter, your two-way player, your Heisman stud, who was one of the top candidates to win the Heisman just based off the way he can play both sides of the field. It's going to be a tough one. I think Shador in Colorado is going to have a bounce-back game, especially when you hear statements like this.
One thing that I could say honestly and candidly, you better get me right now. This is the worst we're going to be. You better get me right now.
I mean, Coach Prime ain't lost no confidence, so why would I lose confidence? Coach Prime said, you better get me right now because I'm starting to get comfortable. And Coach Prime, I just want to let you know, I still believe what you've been able to do with the Colorado Buffs is simply amazing. You've already exceeded expectations, as I mentioned earlier in this segment. We're talking about a team that only won 1 game last year. You're already 3-1. You beat TCU. You beat some tough teams. You had a rough go at Oregon, but most teams are going to have a rough go at Oregon. I'm telling you right now, Coach Prime, I don't speak for everybody else because so many people in the media were just so quick to just pounce on you. They were just hating on you. They was waiting on you to lose. But I'm telling you right now, Coach Prime, I'm still riding with you. I still believe. And last but not least, as we get ready to close out this show, it's fight night, baby. Let's get ready to rumble because this Saturday we have a super fight, ladies and gentlemen. Canelo Alvarez versus my boy Jermell Charlo. They are going to be fighting for Canelo's undisputed super middleweight championship. As you guys know, to be an undisputed champion, you must hold titles. All 4 titles. That means you must hold the WBA title, the WBO title, the WBC title, and the ICF title. And right now, Canelo is the undisputed super middleweight champion of the world. But guess what, ladies and gentlemen? This fight is going to be making history because Jermell Charlo is also the undisputed junior middleweight champion of the world, meaning he holds the WBA, the WBC, the WBO, and the ICF championship belts in the light middleweight division, but they're not fighting for his titles. They're fighting for Canelo's because Charlo is the champion of the 154-pound class, while Canelo is the champion of the 168-pound class. And I'm telling you guys right now, it's going to be a tough go for Charlo. I gotta let you guys know something right now. I love Jermell Charlo. The boy is a dog. Let's take a look at the tail of the tape. Canelo Alvarez comes in at 59, 2-2 out of his 62 fights. 39 of those 59 victories have been by knockout. And let me tell you something, when Canelo knocks you out, you're not so quick to get back up. I just remember seeing a couple stoppages early on in his career, and we saw the way that he knocked out Caleb Plant. I mean, he gave that man a 1-2 buckle my shoe. Canelo is a beast. His 2 losses coming from early in his career. Who did he fight? Let's look at that. So your boy always ready to do some research. Jorge Juarez is who he lost to. I believe he was like 5 fights in. He lost his 5th fight. Who doesn't matter? But the most important loss coming against Floyd Mayweather, which I think was significant in Canelo's career because Canelo learned a lot from losing to Floyd Mayweather. I think he learned the value of counterpunching and in defensive fighting, because after he fought Floyd Mayweather, Canelo was on the roll, even beat one of his rivals in Gennady Golovkin. We know about that great trilogy with him and Triple G. Canelo was a dog, man. And he also lost to Dimitri Bivol. Him trying to step up to that light heavyweight. Coming from middleweight, trying to step up to light heavyweight is a big difference. I believe that's 180 pounds. And right now, Dimitri Bivol is still the reigning defending light heavyweight champion of the world. So no qualms there for Canelo losing, man. And I just want to give a quick shout out to everybody watching. I see you, I appreciate you for watching, man. I see my boy John B in the place to be for watching. I see my boy Pops Tony up in the building. Hey, Mom, what's going on, man? Got love for y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in, man. It's been a beautiful show. But yeah, as we get continue to talk about the fight, you look at the other side of it. You got Jermell Charlo. This is gonna be a tall task, as I mentioned. He's the middleweight champion of the 154-pound division. So I'm telling you guys right now, he's fighting a guy that's sitting at 168 pounds, and Canelo's already a heavy hitter, and he's gonna put that weight on him, man. I'm with you, Pops, man. I got Canelo for the win. Both of these guys, man, that knockout artists. Charlo comes into the bout. He's 35, 1-1, 19 of those, 35 of those, 35, 1-1, 19 of those victories coming by way of knockout. And he has a twin brother in Jermell Charlo, who's the middleweight champion of the world. Now, he's not undisputed, but he's the middleweight, and here's the kicker. They're twins. So if you guys don't watch boxing, Jermell and Jermall Charlo are twins, and I believe that they are the first pair of twins to both hold titles in professional boxing. These are both great talents coming out of the great state of Texas, representing H-Town. So I'm telling you, man, it's gonna be a fight. Now, my boy Jermell, he's not just gonna come in and lay down for Canelo. Chance Crawford has been talking in Jermell's ear, and he wanna see what he can do with Jermell. And Jermell said, man, you ain't on nothing, bro. I'm looking at bigger. I'm looking at bigger fish. I want to go fight Canelo, because if I can knock somebody out like Canelo, if I can beat somebody like Canelo, you can't not doubt me as being the top pound for pound fighter. And we know Canelo has been already viewed as one of the best fighters to ever do it, especially in the Hispanic world. The Mexicans, Hispanics in general, they're known for their strong love of fighting. But the greats like Robert Guerrero, the greats like Oscar De La Hoya, the greats like Miguel Cotto. Hispanics have been running the boxing lane for a long time, and I always love to see a good fight. And Canelo has that Mexico pride, that Mexico pride. In the words of Eddie Guerrero, he got that Latino heat. So he's gonna be looking to come in and knock Jermell out. They both been on winning streaks after their losses. Jermell Charlo losing his title to Tony Harrison back in 2018, and then coming back or 2017 and coming back in a rematch and beating him in 2019 in December to get his title back, knocking him out in the 11th round. That first fight with Tony Harrison was very controversial, as everybody just said that they felt like Charlo controlled the pace of that fight, but this guy wins in a unanimous decision. And I believe before he even knocked out Tony Harrison, he was losing in the scorecards again, which was impossible because he was definitely dictating the fight. So this is going to be an interesting fight, man. As I mentioned, it's going to be this Saturday. Make sure you guys tune in, pay-per-view, Showtime, watch the fight, get your bet on. I'm betting Canelo gets a knockout in the 6th round. I think Charlo is going to put up a good fight, man, but Canelo is probably one of the best counterpunchers in the game. And if Charlo is not careful, Canelo will catch him, and he will lay that boy what we call the hell out. And that's been my show, ladies and gentlemen, man. I got love for y'all, man. Nephew, I love you too. Thank you for tuning in, my boy. Hey, man, I got love for all y'all, man. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. This has been a very interactive show. As you see, your boy has taken some pride in himself in this show, and I'm trying to bring a whole production in, doing this thing by myself. I'm the producer and the talent, baby. What you know about that, man? Make sure y'all tune in next Tuesday as we'll discuss everything that happens during the weekend, over the weekend, and then you guys also make sure you tune in once the NBA season starts. It's gonna be going down, as your boy will then be going to 2 days. He'll be doing Tuesdays and Thursdays just to make sure you got all the sports talk that you need in your system, man. I appreciate you, my boy Trav. Thank you for supporting since day one. My cousin Jeff, love you. And thank you, mama, as always. I live to make you proud. Ain't nothing like doing it for your mama. I got love for y'all, man. I hope y'all have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. Again, check me next Tuesday, 7 p.m. And you guys already know the slogan, baby. We go. There's a bigger fight going on. There's a much bigger agenda than the streets. And I know sometimes it's hard to see that far in front of us, but we have to look past the illusions, look past the delusions of grandeur, and look at the bigger picture. We need to become better versions of ourselves each and every day. Fight for what you believe in. Because if you stand for nothing, you'll fall for anything. We just getting started, baby. You guys know the slogan now. Hope you all have a great evening. And we go.